Bonjour, c'est Clara French in the Midlands. Today's video is about how to blend French words like a pro, and I will show you two different techniques to use when you want to speak a little bit more fluently. You want your speech to flow a bit more. Be aware that in French there are two main ways to blend words. The first way is by linking. And you know that because it's when you link the last consonant of a word with the first vowel of the other word. For instance, les enfants. No one will ever say les enfants. So that's kind of something we do all the time. The second technique is what I call blending. I'm not sure if it's got a word really, but it's when all the words flow together in a sentence. For instance, if you want to read on reste à l'hôtel, in a fluent way, you'd say on reste à l'hôtel. And it's not necessarily the speed that's the difference, it's the fact that all the words blend in on reste à l'hôtel. There's no separating them. The first technique is called linking. And it can be mandatory, and the examples we're going to see now are mandatory. For instance, when a word ends with an S, and the following one starts with a vowel or an H, you end up with a Z sound. Les amis, des hommes. Les amis is the friends, des hommes, some men. Not all H words behave the same. There's a few that don't, and we'll see them later on. Z plus a vowel, the same. It's a Z sound. Chez elle. Chez elle means at her house. Chez elle. You'd never say chez elle. It doesn't work. X plus vowel or H is still a Z sound. 2 heures, 10 ans. And 10 ans is usually fine. 10 ans is 10 years. 2 heures, people are really hesitant about linking because of the H. But as I said before, the H is a non-letter in French, so you can ignore it. 2 heures. You pretend it isn't there. Now, when you have a D plus vowel, you end up with a T sound. Quand il arrive. Un grand homme. The T plus vowel or H is still T. Un petit enfant. A small child. N plus vowel. Still, you hear the N. Un anniversaire. On a. So it sounds like the word anniversaire starts with an N, but it doesn't. It's a bit like an apple in English. It's the same one. And of course, you've got the R plus vowel, which is a bit unusual. So when you want to link the word premier with a word that starts with a vowel, you end up with première, which should be the feminine of premier, except it's not. Mon premier amour. I don't know why, but that's how it works. Now, there are cases where the linking is purely optional and it actually has been dropped in modern French. So in all the examples I give you, I would say forget the linking. I'm showing them to you because some people use them, but the vast majority don't. For instance, after pas. Elle n'est pas ici. I've not heard anybody say that for a long time. We would say elle est pas ici. Not only do we remove the N, but we don't link the pas with the ici. Elle est pas ici. With est, which is, we don't link very often. You can say on est arrivé, but we would say on est arrivé most of the time. Sometimes, if it makes your life easier, if you think on est arrivé is better, then by all means use it, but it's not compulsory. Same for the next one. Sont, which is R plus vowel, ils sont allés. It's probably a little bit easier than saying ils sont allés, so go for it if you want. The last one, I actually have never heard it, but you can link it if you want, the on, have. Ils ont un chien. We would say ils ont un chien. The ils ont is a mandatory linking. The T with a U of un absolutely isn't. Ils ont un chien. Now, there are cases where you don't link, and this is really important. You never link after a verb, except, as we've just seen, after être un avoir, you can link, but again, it's not mandatory. So I would say as a general rule, never link after a verb. For instance, les enfants ont fini. You would never say les enfants ont fini, that doesn't work. After a noun, you don't link either. Mes parents ont faim. Instead of mes parents ont faim, that's not possible. After et, you don't link. Et is the word and. But linking before the et is fine. For instance, we say 21 for 21, but we wouldn't say 21. That doesn't mean anything. As soon as you link the T of et, there's a risk that people will think you're saying est, is, and it'll confuse the hell out of people because they won't know what you're talking about. After certain H words, you never ever link. Words like haricot. We don't say les haricots, we say les haricots. Les héros, heroes. There's probably a few others, but I can't think of them right now. These are the main two. Before we carry on, I just want to say you can claim your free ebook at the link below, the 12 Golden Rules of French, and you could also have a look at my course, Parler Français Level 1, and it's geared at people who want to learn conversational French the fastest possible way. So have a look and let me know what you think. The second technique is called blending. I call it blending. I don't know if there's a name for it, but it's when words flow together in a sentence and not separated. Although in a long sentence, you can actually introduce a slight pause between groups of words. But here we're going to look at short sentences. Sonia est chez elle. Sonia is at home. We would say Sonia est chez elle. Sonia est chez elle. Okay, so you got that linking of chez elle, and the rest is just blended. Sonia est chez elle. It's all like one big word. Sarah a un ami qui habite en Amérique. Sarah has a friend who lives in America. Sarah a un ami qui habite en Amérique. Sarah a un ami qui habite en Amérique. Here you've got, apart from the two links, you've got the a of Sarah, which blends in with the a of a un ami. Sarah has a friend, so Sarah a un ami. You can hardly hear the double a, but it's there. Tu en as eu un? Have you had one? Interesting, this one, because when you speak everyday French, you skip the U of tu. Tu en as eu un. But actually you end up with t'en as eu un. And that sounds like one long vowel. It's a bit weird. T'en as eu un. Dis-lui que je suis malade. There's no linking here. So we're going to just blend. It means tell him or tell her that I'm poorly. Dis-lui que je suis malade. Dis-lui que je suis malade. You see how you hardly hear the que. Dis-lui que je suis malade. It's a slight que or ge between the lui and the je. And that's how it works. On n'a pas oublié quelque chose? Have we not forgotten anything? So here the ne of on n'a pas has disappeared, but it's the same anyway because we link with the n of on. So it sounds exactly the same. On n'a pas oublié quelque chose? Or some people would even say, on n'a pas oublié quelque chose? They don't even say quelque chose, they say quelque chose. Ça a l'air intéressant. It looks interesting. Ça a l'air intéressant. Ça a l'air intéressant. You see how the two A's blend in together again. finally, je sais ce qu'on va faire. I know what we're going to do. Again, no linking in there. It's all blending. Je sais ce qu'on va faire. Je sais ce qu'on va faire. The E of ce kind of disappear. Je sais ce qu'on va faire. And that's it for now. Please give me a like if you've enjoyed this video to support me. And subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you in the next one. À bientôt.